So today we are going to touch like mastering network interfaces. That is to know more about our network interface. Then we want to know how to change it, to manipulate it. We are going to change our MAC address. We change our network interfaces. That's what we are going to do today. These are the reason why we change our network interfaces and MAC address. It's very, very important, especially when you want to pen testing. You want to run a pen testing, maybe the network you want to run it on, you are not giving any permission and you don't want to be traced back. So you use this method. This is the first thing as a cybersecurity or ethical podcast to do before you do anything. To do that, you need to change your MAC address and change your interfaces. So here are the reasons why we change: to hide your digital footprints and avoid tracking, bypassing MAC filters and access restricted networks. So this one, for example, let's assume you are working with AYC and company and you want to carry out a pen test on Cipherbase network. Let's assume that first time you try that, we detect, our security personnel detect that someone is trying to access our network and we block that your MAC address. So you can change your MAC address to something else so you will be able to gain access to that network again. Then sneaking back into network after being blocked, which is the same thing that I just explained. Then hijacking connection and execute man-in-the-middle attacks. Of course, very sure that we are going to do something like man-in-the-middle attack before the end of this training. So you will know how we do this, how to hijack connections and execute man-in-the-middle attacks. Then impersonating trusted devices and sleeper security. Of course, we are still saying the same thing. Bypassing restriction tied to your MAC address. All these and many more reasons as why we change our MAC address, which is very, very important. These are the most important reasons to change your wireless interfaces. I said earlier that we'll be touching how to change your interface and how to change your MAC address. So before I leave this session, let me go to my terminal, my Kali machine. To check your terminal, your interface, of course, IPA. As you can see here, these are our interfaces that we have. We have hello, which is our loopback address. This loopback address will allow your system, your terminal, your own system here, to communicate back to itself. That's work of this hello. And the default IP for this one is 1.2, this particular one. So the default IP for this hello, that is loopback address, is 1.127.0.1.1. So this is the default one. And the next interface here, network interface we have here, is ETA0. This ETA0 is for our Ethernet cable. When someone was talking about how he's having a problem downloading the Kali machine OS that we have to download, someone talked about Ethernet cable. That is, you can connect the Ethernet cable from your Wi-Fi to your device directly. That's wired network. We have wired network and we have wireless network. So this ETA0 is for wired network. That is, you have to connect a cable from one device to another endpoint device. That is from your maybe broadband, maybe if you are using broadband, or if you are using any Wi-Fi, MiFi, you connect from your internet cable. You use Ethernet cable from that MiFi to your system. Most systems have that port, Ethernet cable port, and most MiFi or Wi-Fi device have Ethernet cable port that you can connect end-to-end connection. So this one is the MAC address for this particular internet interface. This particular one is the MAC address for that. So as you can see now, we have permanent MAC address. This one, my system, what I did on my system is that I always configure my system that for every rebuild, if I shut down, if I put it on again, my MAC address will be changed automatically. That's how I configure my system. So now we have permanent one. This one is telling you we have permanent MAC address. We did this particular one. And we have the temporary one, that is the one you change it to, you want it to be changing automatically, which is this particular one. What I'm telling you technically is that in this particular terminal here, we have three interfaces. The first one is hello, we use it for loopback address. The second one is ETA0 for our wired network. And the third one is LAN0, which is my external adapter. I'm going to show you the external network adapter. This external network adapter is very, very important, especially when you are doing network sniffing and when you want to break in and you want to change your mode, your network mode. You know, we have different network mode. We have manage mode, which is default mode. We have monitor mode. We have master mode, and we have some other mode. Those three modes I mentioned are the most important mode, network mode that we have. Let me now go back to the presentation file document. So we have packet sniffing. These are the most important thing. Packet sniffing and traffic capture. Of course, we are going to do this before the end of the training. We capture a packet. We use this one purposefully when you want to hack a Wi-Fi, when you want to break into someone else's Wi-Fi. So packet sniffing, you send a large packet to a network. So, and the large packet will be disconnecting the other end network. Then you will be able to gain access and capture the handshake. Then we have use monitor mode. These are the reasons why we use monitor mode. This is first reason why we use monitor mode. Use monitor mode to capture all Wi-Fi packets. We use that one. Then we use monitor mode as well for Wireshark and airmon-ng. Then Wi-Fi hacking and penetration testing. So under this Wi-Fi hacking and penetration testing, of course, we use monitor mode to scan, capture, handshakes. We are going to do this, and we are going to do the authentication attack. The authentication attack, we use it when you want to capture, you want to crack somebody else WPA or WPA2 Wi-Fi. You want to crack it, you want to detect the password. We have tools other crack, .ng, and reverse tools for network hacking. Then we have MAC address spoofing. Of course, MAC address spoofing is same as to change your MAC address, in which we are going to do today. We change our MAC address. As you can see this point here, change MAC address for anonymity or bypass filtering, in which I explained earlier. Then creating a fake access point. Of course, this is what they use. For example, let's assume that you are in a public transport or you're in a hall. Maybe there is an hacker in that hall and you already created a public Wi-Fi. So this is the method that the hacker use, create a public Wi-Fi. And when you join, of course, it will be able to gain access to your data, be able to access and break into your system. Of course, before the end of this training as well, we are going to do this, create a fake access points and try to, and also we have used master modes to create a rope AP. This AP is also access points. Then tools we use, airmon-ng and Fusion, and we have more other tools that we can use. Before I proceed, let me just show you all these things are what we can use while we change our network interfaces and MAC address. So these are the tools to use that you can use to change your MAC address. This is Alpha network adapter. This is what I use. I have this particular one and I have this one as well. So it depends on you. This one is a little bit costly. This is Alpha adapter and this is TP-Link. To change your MAC address, you need these tools, one of these two. So this is Alpha network for network adapter. So if you want to select wherever you are joining this training from, we have a lot of network adapter here. If you want to come here, if you just click on this product here, if you want to see the compatible network adapter that you can use with your Kali Linux, if you want to, maybe you want to guess, then Kali, you click on this. So from here, you will have a lot. We have a lot of, all this one here, all this network adapter here, you can use them for network hacking and a lot of things. So these are the ones that support Kali Linux, or this particular one. We have a lot of them. So that's what I just want to show you, just to know where to, you won't just go and buy anyhow network adapter. So that's just about that. So now that I've shown you this particular one, so what we need to do now first, we want to change our network interfaces. That is from manage mode to monitor mode, and from monitor mode to master mode. So now let's go to our terminal. First thing that you need to do is that if you want to change your mode, your interface mode. Okay, let me just show it again. IPA. Like I said earlier, I said we have three interfaces. These are the interfaces that I have here. Of course, if you connect another maybe adapter, or you might have more than this. But these are the three interfaces that I have here. If you did not collect anything, of course, this LO and ETA0 are permanent here, because this one is when you connect your Kali machine to your, immediately your Kali machine is connected to your network, your local machine network, connected as wired. If you want to see, you click on this particular place at the top right here. These are where you check your connection on Kali machine. As you can see here now, my Kali machine is connected to two networks. This one is wired network connection, and the other one is wireless connection, which is my external network adapter. So now we want to change the interface of this particular one, this LAN 0, which is my personal network adapter. So I want to change it to something else. If you want to know which mode you are running, of course, you just iwconfig here. Let me make it bigger so you can see as well. Use iwconfig, then you enter. This one will display the current mode that you are running. Of course, as you can see, we have the hello, we have here 0, and we have LAN 0 here. So this LAN 0, the ESSD high is this nickname, which is going to be my network name here. So, and the mode, I tell you earlier that my network adapter supported both 2.4 and 5.0 gigahertz. But here, of course, I'm using 2.4, so I can capture both network, both device that is running 2.4 band and 5.0 band. So, and the mode here now is manage mode, as you can see. So what we want to do now, we want to change this manage mode to monitor mode, because this manage mode is default mode for every Kali machine device. So now, first thing you need to do is that you key your network adapter, that is, you shut it down. If you can see now, my own network adapter is already shut down. As you can see here, it shows that the state is down. Of course, I may not, because of this training, I'm going to wake it up so we can start afresh from the beginning. So to do that, we can use different methods to do that, but the one that is, we have sudo, if you use ifconfig, that ifconfig is old version of link, that is sudo IP link set. So I'm going to use both methods so you can understand what I'm talking about. So now I want to wake my network interface up. To do that, just write sudo. I just make sure that I change it to root access. Then I provide my password. Everything I'm doing now will be in a root. I will have root access. It won't be asking me to provide administrator password before I run anything. So now, but I will still continue with sudo so you guys can understand. So sudo, then IP link set LAN 0 hub. As you can see, that is, this IP link set LAN 0 hub. This is my interface which is this particular one. So what I want to do now is that it was keyed before. That's why you can see the state here as down, this red. That's why you can see this one as red. I keyed it before because I was running something before we started the training. So now I want to wake it up. So now you just click enter. If you check it back, this particular IPA from here, you run the IPA back, it should be up. So now this is my interface. As you can see, the state now is up already. So now, as you can see, the state is up already. So that's how you wake it up. Now, let's start from the scratch now, from the beginning. We want to change the interface from manage mode, that's our targets, to monitor mode. Then what you do, we start with sudo IP link set LAN 0, then down. That is, we want to shut the interface. We want to shut it down so we'll be able to make our changes to monitor mode. If you don't do this, you won't be able to change it to monitor mode. So that's why we are using, we want to kill it first, then we change it to monitor mode. Then you click enter. If there's any error in this script, you will see an error message. But since this does not throw any error, that means the script is correct. Then you go to the next step. Okay, now, so we already shut down our network adapter, which is my external, this particular interface. I'm shutting it down. This alpha adapter, I'm shutting it down now. The next thing to do now is to set it to monitor mode. Since we already changed that, so we want to set it to a monitor mode. What we just need to do is that just sudo, then IP link. What we just need to do now, the next script now to write is sudo iw, then LAN 0, because our interface name is LAN 0. That's why we are putting LAN 0 there. What we need to do next is set. That is, we are setting it the type, which the type is, what is the type we are setting it to? We want to change it to monitor mode. That's what we put here. Then monitor mode. You just put monitor. That's why we are changing. That is, this one, this IW just is hardware. That's what they simply represent. You are changing the hardware. Which hardware? Our LAN 0 network adapter interface. We want to set it to what? We are changing it to monitor mode. That's simply version of this script. Then you run. Since we did not get any error as feedback, that means the script is correct. Now, the next thing to do now, we are waking it up back. You can't just make any change on your networking adapter when it's alive. you have to key the network adapter before you can make your changes. And when you make your changes, you revive the adapter back. That's simply what we are doing here. The next thing now to do is to wake it up. So to wake it up as well, sudo, then IP link, then set LAN 0. You just say up. So now, as you can see, he said cannot find device. It's simply because, well, that's why we can't find it. Sudo IP link LAN 0 set LAN 0 up. Now it's up. To check, just say IP hey. This is your interface. Then to now check the mode that your network is changed to now, all you just need to do is iwconfig. As you can see here, it's already in monitor mode here. As you can see, before we started, it was in manage mode here, but now we change it to monitor mode. So that's how to change from this mode to another mode. So the next mode that we are going to change it to now is master mode. So now we want to change from this monitor mode to master mode, which is also known as access points. Change now from monitor mode to master mode. We use sudo iwconfig LAN 0 down. Then the next command is sudo iwconfig LAN 0 mode, then we put masters. The next command is we wake up the interface using sudo iwconfig LAN 0 up. So now let's check our interface again. iwconfig. So as you can see here, as we can see now, our current interface mode is master. The last thing for this class now is MAC address changes. That is, we want to change our MAC address. Of course, for every device, MAC address are very unique. It's a unique ID for every device. Every device has its own MAC address and is a unique one. So if I said we are changing the MAC address permanently or maybe temporarily, what I meant by that is that you cannot totally change or alter MAC address, but you can change it temporarily. And to make it more advanced and unique for you, for your job, you just set it every switch. That is, if you shut down, even though for 10 years and come back 10 years, it will still change it for you automatically for every rebuild. That is, once you shut down your system and you rebuild it again or you restart your system, it will change automatically. And it's not necessary to restart your system. Of course, you can also start your network manager without shutting down your Kali machine. If you shut down your network manager and restart again, of course, it's going to change your network MAC address. Let's go back to it. As you can see here, the little explanation here, changing the MAC address, also known as MAC spoofing. Of course, MAC spoofing on Kali Linux can be useful for privacy, bypassing MAC filtering, or penetration testing. Method. The two methods we are going to use today is install macchanger if it's not installed on your device. Then the next thing to do is changing MAC manually without macchanger. And the third one is we have a different method of doing that. The last one is permanent spoofing. That is, auto rebuild, your system will be coming up and the MAC address will be changed automatically. For every restart, it will change. So that's it. But that one, we might not be able to cover that because of our time. And if you need to do that, of course, I've done a video like that. It's in our YouTube channel. You can refer to that. But if you want us to make class on that for the purpose of this training, of course, maybe our next class, you can go to that and do and practicalize it and see how it works. For every restart, it will change automatically. So now let's go back to our terminal. Let's change this back to monitor mode or master mode or manage mode. So now to do that, just follow the same procedure. That is sudo IP link, then set LAN 0 down. We want to shut it down. Then the next thing, because we want to change it back to monitor mode so we can continue with what we are doing, then sudo IP then iwconfig, sudo iw lan 0. Then the next you do now is to put to set it to what you want to do. That is lan 0 set the type to what? Monitor mode. Then you click enter. The next thing to do is to wake it up. Sudo link. You can come here to change it to up. Then we can confirm from here if it's actually changed. Then that is if iwconfig, then you check. Now, as you can see, it's already in monitor mode. So from this mode, let's continue from this mode and change our MAC address. Like I said, MAC address is a unique ID. So now to check your MAC address, our default MAC address. So let me clean our terminal. So to check that, you can use IPA. You can see here, this is your MAC address. This, we have 3 interfaces here, but we are working with this LAN 0, which is external network adapter. So it's up now, and this is MAC address, as you can see. This is MAC address here. This is our MAC address, but the IP is yet to come up. This is our MAC address. Just note this one down, or let's just leave it here so we can see. We can install macchanger by using sudo. Let me clear my screen so we can update. Then this is the script, I mean the command, bash command to install macchanger if you are yet to install it. I must have installed this on my device, but I'm doing it again because of you guys, so you will know how to, install macchanger. This is macchanger, but it's not necessary, like I said, but this is one of the methods we are going to use. So you click enter. So it will install the macchanger for you, of course, as you can see. Maybe I have it already. That's why it's saying installing 0, removing 0. Since I've done that, but I'm very sure if you do your own, you will see it will be installed. It's because I have it already. That's why it's like this. Because if you see my fetch, here, if you notice that there is a size, the size is there already and everything is there. So now let's proceed. Since I'm already done with that, you try it and see, and you will discover that it's going to be installed directly to your system. What you need to do next is, we can say sudo IP link set lan 0 down. So now the next thing is to change the MAC address. You change the MAC address, that is sudo. The next thing to do now is to change the MAC address. Then you type sudo, then the next macchanger. As you can see, I have all these things as what I've done before. That's why it's suggesting for me. Of course, I auto complete it. So I'm just going to explain it. So this sudo, that is, you want to root. If I don't use sudo, it's going to work because I'm already in a root. I have root access already. Then macchanger, that is, this we call the macchanger that we just installed to change it for us. Then M, that is manually. That's what this M stands for. Manually change this. Then 33.44.83.99. this. Then on which interface we are changing it on LAN 0 interface. That's why you see I ended it with LAN 0 here. And this is 6. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It has to complete. Just say enter. So as you can see now, you will discover that we have current MAC is this particular one, in which I've shown you here. Just see my right hand side of the screen. You will see it here. The default MAC address of this particular device is this one. Then it's showing permanent MAC is this one, but could not change MAC address. As you can see, insufficient permission operation not permitted. Of course, I'm running it as admin. It's supposed to go. Maybe we need to restart because of the mode that we have been changing since morning. Maybe that's what is affecting it. We might need to restart the device, then we try again. But let me just change this to something else so we can see. Let me use 00.11.22.33.44.55. then space LAN 0. Let's just try this and see if it's going to go or not. Yes, we are able to change this one, as you can see here. So the new MAC address now is this. So now let's now ping it from here. Let's ping from here. Then you now be to check it, that's IP here. Like I said, our new MAC address is this, as you can see here. This is our new MAC address. Why our permanent MAC address is still here. So now, why are we changing this? Anywhere, if you are trying to access any network, this is what they will be seeing. This particular one that you change it to. That's what they will be seeing. They will not detect this because you already changed it. Note, this is temporary. If you shut down your system, it will return back to this. So this grace is only available for this session. When you shut down, it will automatically go back to this. That's why the third option that I told you, that is permanent spoofing, that I told you is the best. I said the best thing to do is to change it automatically. That is, every shutdown, your system will be changing itself, MAC address itself without changing it. You can do that by using bash, but I don't want to. Our time is almost gone, so we do that next, or you check our YouTube page, it's there already. So that's how to change this using macchanger. We are going to change our MAC address without macchanger. So first thing we need to do now is to confirm our interface and confirm our current MAC address. Confirming our interface is iwconfig. Then we are changing the MAC address of this LAN 0. Then we need to confirm our current MAC address by using IP head. Then our current MAC address now is this particular ID. So we are going to change it from this ID to another ID. So here now. So what you need to do first is to shut down our MAC address, our interface, by using ifconfig LAN 0 down. Then the next command now is to assign our MAC address. So to assign our MAC address, we use ifconfig config LAN 0, then hardware, which is HW heater. Then we can use 00 11 22 33 22. Then let's say 5 5 6. Then we hit enter. So now we need to confirm, like we need to wake the interface up by using ifconfig LAN 0 up. Then now we can now confirm the interface. Then to confirm our current MAC address now, if it has actually changed to this particular ID, then we use IP. So now, as you can see here, this is our former MAC address, and this is our current MAC address. So guys, that's how to change our MAC address without macchanger. Thank you very much.